Now let's take a closer look at this resource. The resource is the air, or more precisely, the spectrum. We talked about a licensed spectrum. There are also unlicensed spectrum, which forms the foundation, the media, for Wi-Fi communication. Over there, you do not have to pay anyone to get a right to transmit. As you can imagine, the jamming situation can get quite bad over there. Now, we'll worry about that in Lecture 18 on Wi-Fi. In the air, the signals suffers all kinds of distortion. One is signal attenuation. Okay. The power drops over distance, and that leads to frequency reuse and the foundation of cellular network. Another feature is interference. Okay. Not only you are transmitting in the air, other people are also using the air, and you might collide. Later in Lecture 18, we will draw a detailed picture of what actually happens during collision of packets. Today, suffices to say that if two users transmit at the same slot in time, then their signals will interfere with each other. And the analogy that we'll focus on in today's lecture is a cocktail party analogy. So suppose you are in a cocktail party and you want to talk to your intended recipient. Okay, so Alice wants to talk to Bob. Now there are many other people around you, and they all talk to each other. For example, Chris may talk to Dave. And so happens that you are very close to Chris, and therefore Chris' voice actually becomes interference to you. And then there are other people around the intended recipient, and their communication also interfere with your conversation. So Bob will actually hear a lot of different voices overlapping on top of each other. Now the question is, how can you communicate in such a cocktail party? How can you mitigate and manage the challenge of interference? Now, one strategy that we'll be focusing on in today's lecture is transmit power control, or in the case of cocktail party, volume control. You're going to try to install a protocol of courtesy that says, if you don't need to shout, please don't. And that is the spirit of transmit power control in 3G CDMA network that we'll be talking about momentarily. So keep this cocktail party in mind throughout today's lecture.